Hello, reader. Thank you for joining us. This is the Christian Readers Community Podcast. On this podcast, we will be discussing with fellow readers and authors. You will never lack for good conversations and recommendations of Christian books. If you're a lover of literary works, fiction and non-fiction, then you have made the right stop here. Thank you for joining us again, and I hope you listen to every podcast that we get to put out for you. Thank you.
Welcome to the Christian Readers Community, or welcome back if you've been an avid listener of this podcast. Thank you for joining us on another episode, and I'm very grateful. Thank you. Today, as usual, I'm not alone. I came with another author all the way from North Carolina, and she is here to talk to us. You're welcome to the show, Christine Boatwright. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes, me too. It's a privilege to have you here because in a short while I'm going to be explaining, why I said so. Because you're not just an author, but you are also the president of the American Christian Fiction Writers. That's the North Carolina chapter, right?
We're in South Carolina, but not far from North Carolina. So, but yes, we are.
Okay. So you see, that's why I said that it's really, really a privilege to have you here, because I interview authors, I interview readers, but I've not interviewed the president of a writers association. So it's really wonderful to have you here with us. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for those who do not know, Christine Boatwright has written, and she's currently at the stage of publishing this wonderful story that has won a handful of awards. It has garnered so many awards. She's entered several contests with it, and it came out big at the end. So I'll really like her to talk to us about it. Like I said earlier, she's currently at the publishing stage, and while she's at it, she's here to talk to us about the story. Yes, please go ahead and talk to us, Christine.
Sure, I'd love to. So first of all, I got this story idea when my husband, who is a scientist, and I were talking about creation and Adam and Eve in the garden, and how when they sinned, they would have then had to kind of watch creation break or kind of fall apart. And they would know that it was because of their choices that these things started changing, that life wasn't the same as when it was perfect in the garden. And I started thinking about how today we have scientists who are fighting kind of those results of those decisions that were made in the garden. And so my book is based on, there's one story of Eve and her choices in the garden, and kind of exploring why she made those choices. And then I have a scientist, a modern day woman who lives in today's world, who is fighting cancer. So she's researching leukemia and trying to figure out ways to cure it. And kind of her story battling with those same kind of decisions that Eve made in the garden. And so it's a fun way to look at Old Testament stories, but compare them to what we deal with as Christians in today's world.
Yeah, when you sent me the story description, you said that it was a combination of two stories. So did you do something like a historical and contemporary fiction?
Yes, that's the idea. The main story is the contemporary one, but every 3 or 4 chapters, I have a chapter from Eve's story as well. So.
Oh, I understand now. Oh, okay. I get. I thought you wrote them differently, but I can see now you intertwined both stories.
Trying to.
Right.
We'll see how it turns out in the end. But yes.
Of course. I believe that, at least you've been for that story to win, to be able to get awards already, even before it is published. Before it's published, I believe you're definitely going to do well with it when it finally. I believe it's going to do well when it finally comes out. I believe so, and so this leads us to this story. What gave you this idea? What brought up the idea of this story?
It's funny because I'm not a scientist, so to have to talk about cancer research from it to explain it to other people who are not scientists is difficult. But it's just a lot of I've took a lot of it from my life as well, because I made the main woman the same age as myself and kind of pouring in doubts and fears and things that I have in my life, and how I've watched God work through my experiences and trying to kind of communicate that in her life as well. So I don't know.
Oh, okay. And you are also a researcher, as a stay-at-home mom, because I read your biography, and one of the things it indicated was that when you're not working, when you're not writing, you're researching. So did you get this story from your passion for the leukemia you're currently researching, or the cancer research you're currently doing?
Actually, I kind of fell into the cancer research because we found this. I was looking for an amazing story, a true story, like in newspapers, that could also be fictionalized. So a year or two ago, a story came out of this treatment for this very particular kind of cancer that cured these children. They had gone through every other treatment available, and it kept coming back. And then this very specific type of treatment was given to them, and it cured them. And it was a miracle. And so I kind of, being a fiction writer, I'm taking that idea, but then kind of creating what the next step would be. So that's what's nice, is I need to make something that's possible, maybe, but hasn't happened yet. But I'm a fiction writer, so I'm allowed to tell stories, right? Like.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Okay, so to my next question, do you plan to publish independently or traditionally?
I'm hoping to publish traditionally, although there's a lot of work that goes into either way, but hopefully traditionally.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I really, really wish you the best, and as you land this publishing deal that will get this book out. And now you're done writing, editing, and I'm sure you did lots and lots of researches when writing this book. I want to ask you, because I'm very curious to know, you've gone through the process, like I said, you've gone through the process of writing, editing, researching. You poured lots of researches, both on the historical area aspect of the book and the contemporary side of the book. Now, with all the steps you took till you finalized this book, or before getting to this stage of trying to land a publishing contract, what would you say has been the most challenging for you?
I say honestly, if feel like every step of the way is kind of like pulling teeth. It's well,
Yes.
but it's because I mean on this end, it's difficult to find time to just sit and write, right? It takes hours and hours.
Yeah.
And then even to do all that, I still, you need an agent and a publisher and other people to buy into the story that you've spent, a year or two writing, to even hope to have it published. So it's a lot of work to even get there. And especially life happens, right? I mean, we've moved, we have 3 small children, like it's difficult just to find the time to do it. But I know we'll talk about this in a little bit, but that's kind of where the writing community comes in. And I've loved finding other writers who are doing the same things and going through the same issues that I am. So.
Yeah, I interviewed an author yesterday, and I don't know if you know her. Her name is Tima Bana. So I asked her this question, and she was like, "Wow, she was also trying to publish traditionally." And when we talked, I got to hear her own aspect, and I was like, "Okay, authors have different challenges that they go through in writing. Sometimes when you read these books and you like this story, you like this book, they're very, very wonderful. But then it takes an insider to sometimes know or to see or learn that, okay, this author that wrote this wonderful book you're reading may have gone through some challenges to bring this book out, in as much as they enjoy writing, in as much as writing is what they do. And that leads me to my next question to you, Christy. You're an award-winning journalist, right?
Yes, it's been a few years, but yes.
And you wrote for a news outlet. Did you write or did you present? Did you do an audio?
I was a newspaper reporter, so all writing. It's been my whole career.
So how much did you depend on your experience as a journalist, especially as an award-winning journalist, to write this book?
Actually, it's been very helpful because I became a journalist right out of college. So I was 22, 21 years old, very young, and it forced me to ask questions and talk to strangers and go to events where I didn't know anybody and be okay by myself talking to people. And the same thing, I've needed to use those skills as I do my research. So especially with historical writing, you have to find the experts, because I don't have a doctorate degree in, Old Testament theology or something that would be very helpful right about now. Mm-hmm. So you have to go, you have to interview, and you have to find people who can kind of give proof to the things that you've read. You can't just Google online and find what you hope was true. You need to find experts who can kind of back up what you're learning and hoping is true. So I've had to do that some with college professors, or I've spoken with rabbis and temples, like all kinds of different people who can help make my historical parts of my story more real and more trustworthy. Yes.
And so that means this your work gave you a handful of experience that guided you at the process of writing this book. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, because a lot of writers want to just sit in a room by themselves and write, and you can't always do that. Sometimes you have to look outside and be uncomfortable and find the rest of the story.
So this book you're about to publish, is it just going to be a one-time thing, or do you plan to do this over and over again?
So I do plan to write more. And I especially like writing. When I started this book, I didn't realize that I would enjoy this, but writing about women who are working in the scientific fields, that's not all that common for Christian fiction books these days. So I'd like to kind of explore other areas, not just cancer research, but so I'm trying to work through other story ideas for down the road.
Yes. I want to tell you something, then I'd like to know what you think about this. When I was in school, graduated in 2020 anyway, I read peace studies and conflict resolution. Then when I think that was when I was in my 300 level, I started writing. Prior to that time, I started writing, but it was when I started my industrial training that at the Ministry of Justice, that was when I started writing a book that I wanted to publish. I told myself that I was going to publish this book latest 2020. Now I started writing stories that were related to what I studied in school. I became so interested in politics, human rights, and several, so on and so forth, in everything related to peace studies and conflict resolution, because we studied all the stuff down from the individual stage down to the global stage. Now, I told myself one thing when I was writing. I thought, since that time, I've published 3 books and several short stories. I told myself something that, okay, I'm going to write this particular genre, but there are certain genres that I won't dare go into, like genres like science fiction, fantasy, because I have never been good with science when I was in school. That was why I just had to, respect myself and choose art, and I've been very good at it. Now I'd like to ask you, what gives you, or what brought out this love of writing a scientific book? Did you study any science related? Did you study any science related course when you were in school? Or I know you once said you're married to a scientist. So did he make you fall in love with science, or you fell in love with, you studied it, and is that what brought out the passion to write scientific fiction?
I think he would laugh if he heard that, asking if I had a passion for science, because I struggle through those parts. And thankfully he works from home, so I can go ask him, be like, what is it like in a science lab? Like, what do the women wear? And all those details that I have to include. But let's see. I think it's just, I'm including enough of the science that it's interesting, and it's things that affect our lives, right? So my main character, I have her mother dying of leukemia when she was 5 years old. And so that's how that affects her whole life, and her whole career path, and everything she's doing is based on this one very traumatic event that she had early in life. And so the research itself, it feels, it's like researching anything that I'd have to. There's so many things I don't know about that as a writer, I'm going to have to dive in deeper and become what's called an armchair expert. So know just enough that I can pass on the knowledge to my reader, and to make it realistic to anyone else who actually knows more about this topic, right? Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say I jumped full into the science, but thankfully I have people around me who know how to correct it when I do a terrible job, right?
Oh, that's amazing. That's beautiful then. Okay, down to another question. What, as a Christian author, what is that message that you're trying to pass through to your readers?
So for this book, it's definitely, the question is, what would happen if you let go of everything that you're holding on to so tightly and trusted God. So in particular, this character, she works all the time. She's very dedicated to what she does, but she wants to be in control so badly. And I think that Eve in the garden was very similar. She wanted to be in control. And so she took a bite of that fruit, which changed everything. And so in my own life, looking at what would happen if I went to God with open hands instead of holding on to my own plans, what would happen? I would allow him, I would give him room to prove himself to me, right? That I can trust him and he is faithful and reliable. So that's what I'm battling through with this book.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's amazing. And I really hope you publish this book very, 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 very soon. Oh, that's nice, Christine. Thank you so much. And let's say if someone wants to connect to you and maybe someone wants to get an update about your story as you because they want to keep tab and, watch out for when your story will be published, how would they be able to do that?
So I have a website. It's christineboatwright.com. And you could sign up for my email newsletter. I send one once a month, so it's not too many. It doesn't clog up your email box or anything. And it's just a good way to keep in touch. I'm also on Instagram, Christine Boatwright, there as well. So I love connecting with readers and writers now because there's so much we can already talk about and enjoy together before I even have a book out. That's not the main part of what I'm doing. So yeah, I would love to connect.
And I have a little confession to make, or maybe disclosure. I don't know how we're gonna put this, but I have always loved reading let's say fiction books written, especially I love reading fiction books. I'm an avid reader of Christian fiction, but I always see something special, and I am not exaggerating or flattering you when I say this. I always see something special with journalists turned authors or English teachers that's suddenly started writing. I like their style of writing, and then my sister and I, we share books a lot. Like, we like recommending books to each other, and sometimes when we read books written by journalists or English teachers, we'll be like, okay, I think the experience is obviously showing here because the writing used to be very, very spectacular. And like I told you earlier, I'll really, really, really be waiting for that one. You've got me curious to read your book once it is published. I'll definitely be following up to know when your book will be published. And I really, really wish you all the best. I hope you get to publish this book soon. I hope you get to land a publishing deal and land it very soon. I've heard it from Christine, and anyone who is interested to follow her up, to find out, keep tab on her as she publishes this story, please go ahead, go to the description section of this podcast. You would see the link and you see her biography. Everything you need to know about her is attached to the description section of this podcast, and you see the links. Click on it and visit her page. Like she said, it's not just about the writing. There's so much more she has to keep you engaged. So thank you once again, Christine Boatwright, and I do hope that when we invite you next time, you would be willing to return.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. This was wonderful to talk with you.
Same here, same here. Yeah, so thank you everyone for listening to this episode, and I hope you continue listening. If you enjoyed this, I would like to ask you to please reach out to someone, tell them about it, share it, and even follow and rate us, especially if you're listening to us even from Spotify. You can rate us. I would really, really appreciate it. And feel free to reach out to us as well, telling us what you think about this episode or any other episode. We would be very, very grateful. On behalf of my team and I'd like to say thank you to everyone for listening. And until I come your way again, I'm saying stay safe, stay blessed, and bye-bye.